Well, hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. Good to see you. Today we're talking all about the Salomon Glide Max Trail. This is Salomon's brand new entry into their trail lineup, and it is meant to go the distance with an ultra cushioned midsole. I'm going to go over everything that I learned and some things that you need to know if you're thinking about picking up this brand new trail running shoe from Salomon. Alright, first up I did want to say thank you to Salomon for sending this shoe out for review, and let's get into some stats about the Glide Max Trail. In the heel, we have a 38mm stack height, and in the forefoot, a 32mm stack height, giving you a drop of 6mm. So that definitely puts this in kind of that ultra cushioned category. Love to see that from Salomon. In my size, 11.5, it came out to 11.19 ounces for the weight. In my size, I consider a little bit of a heavier shoe, and we're getting closer to that 12 to 13 ounces. Lighter shoes closer to about 10. So this is kind of there in the middle. It definitely doesn't feel like a heavy shoe when it's on your foot though. The midsole is Salomon's energy foam compound, and I found it to be really nice out there. And the outsole is Salomon's familiar Contra Grip rubber. First up, as we get into this review, we're going to talk about the fit of the shoe. And Salomon's are typically quite a bit more narrow than other shoes, but they're always known for high quality materials. This shoe right here is slightly wider. It's considered more of their just regular last. It's not their performance racing last. So you're going to get a little bit more space in the forefoot. Heel cup is really nice and minimal. I did not get any rubbing around my heel bones or anything like that. The Achilles counter is nice and solid as well. The tongue is a pretty thick padded tongue. And the upper is made out of an engineered mesh. You have rubber overlays over all of the spots that could possibly get a lot of extra wear and tear. There's a nice toe cap so that if you bump into rocks or roots, anything like that sticks, you're going to be pretty well protected in this shoe. With the laces, Salomon has also chosen to do a more typical lace. They don't have the quick release system that they have on a lot of their trail shoes, but this wasn't bad. I did not experience any downsides to this. I was able to get a really good lockdown, and I was able to adjust it pretty easily on the fly if I needed to. So no complaints about the laces here. They stayed tied, they stayed out of the way. Didn't have any problems with them at all. For the sizing, my size 11.5 fit just fine. The comfort and security of this shoe felt really nice while I was running on trails, although I did have to do the lace lock method that you can see right here to get my heel to push back just a little bit more, because what I found with this really thick tongue, I wasn't able to get my laces super tight around the top enough so that my foot wouldn't move around in there a little bit. So I noticed some shifting on some downhills, but once I did the lace lock method, it really pushed my heel back, and I didn't have any problems after that. I didn't experience any hot spots or pain points at all in the upper. It was just a really nice, just kind of like, it's not an upper that disappears when it's on you. Like, you definitely can feel it. It feels like you're running in kind of like an everyday trainer. It doesn't feel like a race shoe specifically, but it also didn't provide any spots that really gave me any problems. One thing that I am concerned with though is all of the rubber overlays around the toe box. Salomon again is going with this design, something that I've talked about in the past with some of their other models. And this poses problems when you get into water crossings. I was able to get these shoes really soaked, and they did not really dry out very fast as I kept running. So that's one area of concern that I have for the Glide Max Trail. Next up, let's talk about the ride of the Glide Max. So we're talking about the midsole, this energy foam compound. I really enjoyed it. With a 6mm drop, provides a really nice follow through with your foot strike. You definitely don't feel like you're putting the brakes on every time you take a step. The energy foam stayed very consistent through every single one of my runs. I was able to take this on a couple double-digit runs over 10 miles out on the trails, and it just performed really well. But with this little bit of a rocker, I was able to get into a flow pretty easily and not really think about what I'm doing out there on the trails as much. I was able to just kind of get into the groove, get into that flow, and just keep moving forward pretty efficiently. Staying with the midsole, this 30 38 millimeters of energy foam in the heel is really nice on downhills. I really noticed that, especially this kind of like, it's extended out, just a little bit of extra foam all around your heel. So when you are descending, going downhill rapidly, the energy foam midsole here did a really good job there. I felt really safe and secure out there. In the heel, I didn't feel like it was wobbling left and right at all. But then with the 6 millimeter drop, we had a really nice forward rock. Definitely feel that cushion throughout the entirety of your run. I didn't feel like this shoe flattened out at any point. All right, let's talk about the performance of the Glide Max Trail. And for that, we have to touch on the outsole. They've chosen to use 3.5 millimeter lugs on the outsole, and it's the Contra Grip rubber. So you're getting a really good mix of pretty sticky rubber with more minimal lugs. So this shoe is going to find its sweet spot on more moderate trails, definitely dry trails as well. When you start getting muddy, this isn't going to perform as well because of the short lugs. And then if you do start getting on more technical stuff where it's going to be a lot of like loose dirt, a lot of loose rocks, this is going to perform a little bit more like a road shoe out on the trails in those environments. But then the other side of that is that if you have a lot of sections in your run that are going to be road, or you need to run a couple miles from your house to the trail, this is going to be a really good option for that, because out on roads, it doesn't feel like a really burly trail shoe out there. It feels closer to a road shoe. You are going to still get a little bit extra stick and friction on the pavement that you wouldn't have on a typical road shoe, but it's not going to be anything that's really going to be super annoying, especially if it's limited to a couple miles. I do feel like if you're going to be experiencing bad weather, though, you're going to probably want to opt for something else maybe, because as soon as the trails start to get wet and slick, you're going to have to slow down a little bit because of the shorter lugs and all the surface area out here. It's going to cake up with mud pretty fast. All right, moving on to appeal. Does this shoe make you want to run? When you're looking at this shoe on your shelf, do you want to put it on and go for a long trail run? In my opinion, this shoe looks awesome. I absolutely love the colors. This off-white mixed with the orange and the teal, it's just, man, it's a good combination. Just really, really nice look from Salomon here. They also have some other colors on their website if you want a little bit more traditional gray or black. They also have a blue model that looks pretty cool, and the women's colors are also pretty sick. I tend to like the women's colors a little bit better whenever we're talking about shoes. When I see this shoe sitting on the shelf, it definitely makes me want to go run. So we're going to wrap this up. The shoe comes in at $160, and I think that's a pretty fair price for this shoe. You're getting a lot of cushion, you're getting a very nice, comfortable upper, and the outsole with this Contra Grip rubber I think is going to last a long time. So $160 for a trail shoe that's definitely meant for ultra runners, long distance. I would say 100 milers, definitely this shoe's going to be great for. So it's definitely going to cause some confusion when you're looking at their lineup. It's going to compete a lot with the Ultra Glide. Also, kind of, there's some similarities to the Sense Ride 5, which this will probably be my next Salomon trail shoe review. And then we also, to complicate it even more, we have the Pulsar Trail Pro. So what are you going to pick? Salomon has a really good lineup going this year in 2023. In my next couple Salomon videos, I'm going to be explaining these as well, and to try to help you pick which one is going to be the best for your trail adventure. So is it worth the price tag, and is it worth having another shoe in the Salomon trail lineup? I think it's going to fit in nicely for ultra runners who want a little bit more of a traditional upper, laces that you can tie, very cushioned midsole, high stack height, and an outsole that works really, really great on more tame terrain and trails, gravel roads, and even pavement. So that's it for my review of the Salomon Glide Max Trail. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.